Before our ancestors ever planted a seed or built a permanent shelter, they were migrating through landscapes that would kill a naked human in hours. Today, we treat clothing as a casual expression of personal style. For our ancestors, it was a primary tool for thermoregulation, a layer of insulation that kept the body's core temperature stable against the environment. This technology is what allowed our species to expand into the subarctic. But because early garments were made of animal skins and plant fibers, they rotted away long ago, leaving a gap in the archaeological record that spans over 100,000 years. To find when we first started covering our bodies, we have to look for the traces left behind by the things that don't decay. Most of human history is documented in stone and bone, because organic materials like leather and fur break down almost immediately in the soil. This is the Tarkan dress. Found in an Egyptian tomb, it dates back 5,000 years, making it the oldest woven garment ever discovered. But the Tarkan dress is a relatively modern invention. Humans were surviving in glacial climates for tens of thousands of years before the first loom was ever built. Since we can't find the fabric itself, researchers have turned to proxies, indirect evidence left behind by biology and ancient technology. The microscopic parasite Pediculus humanus provides a biological timeline for human behavior. While head lice live in human hair, body lice have adapted to live exclusively in the folds of clothing. Without that artificial shelter, they cannot survive. Analyzing the genetic mutation rate between these two lice types lets scientists pinpoint their divergence. That split suggests humans wore clothing as early as 170,000 years ago, pushing the origin of dress long before the last ice age. This DNA evidence confirms our ancestors were clothed long before a single scrap of fabric survived in the dirt. To see how those early clothes were actually made, we have to look at the sudden emergence of specific stone tools. These rounded scrapers are a proxy for simple clothing, used to clean animal hides for draped skins. As climates cooled, humans needed fitted garments, reflected in a shift toward elongated blades for precise cutting of leather. Microscopic analysis confirms this functional split. Scrapers show transverse, or sideways, wear from cleaning hides, while blades show longitudinal wear from repeated cutting. These microscopic scratches on stone are the data points that track our movement from simply draping a hide to tailoring fitted clothing. The final development in prehistoric dress was the ability to create multi-layered outfits, including underwear, to trap even more body heat. Between 30 and 40,000 years ago, bone awls and eyed needles appeared in the archaeological record. These tools made it possible to stitch together the fine, complex seams required for fitted, layered garments. This era of intense tailoring is also supported by a strange skeletal anomaly found at ancient hunting sites. Archaeologists have found the skeletons of wolves and foxes that were entirely intact except for missing tail and paw bones. Removing those specific bones is a hallmark of careful skinning. It proves early humans were processing predators for their pelts, using tailored skins to adapt to an environment that their biology wasn't built to handle. The agricultural revolution changed clothing production again. As humans began domesticating plants like cotton and animals like sheep, woven textiles began to replace hunted skins. Once weaving became common, clothing functioned as a social marker. The specific fibers and colors a person wore signaled their rank, their gender, and their wealth to the rest of the community. During the Industrial Revolution, the mechanized loom turned this labor-intensive craft into a mass-produced commodity. That shift led directly to the synthetic global industry we see today, where clothing is manufactured at a scale our ancestors couldn't have imagined. Every piece of clothing you own is part of this lineage. It is a 170,000-year history of human ingenuity that began with stone scrapers to survive the cold and ended by building the modern world.